There are two types of lizard or reptilian kind of beings. When they appear on Earth, they try to do it covertly. Some come from a total different reality, others come from different planets. They all have their own agenda.
When we had EBA-1 in captivity from 1947, 1952, one of the big questions was, do you have a soul? EBA-1 said, absolutely I have a soul. It is eternal.
There are phenomena going on. We also have different life forms, and the Pentagon reports acknowledge that. So when Earth enters a full harmonious level 4 consciousness, those things will appear and they will affect everyone. And we can see that there are some forces on this planet, extraterrestrial forces, that try to ascend humanity faster.
How much had you been briefed on genetic hybridization programs before you ever started this particular job with these so-called salmon fillets?
Yeah, I was not, actually. I was a very low classified individual at that time, so it actually didn't happen until about a year or two later, where because of what I was, dissecting or whatever, led to other briefings that led to other briefings, because a lot of these beings were connected to ships. And when I got pulled into that, then I was pulled into other things that had to do with hybridization, because I was actually told once that one of the samples was a hybrid. And that's how I knew they were doing a hybridization. They didn't hide it that time during the briefing. It was kind of like a tiger. It was a tiger-type, human-type being. It was very humanoid. It only stood about 5 feet tall, and it was very, the way it looked was very dismantled. It was not correctly, it was just morphed very, very horribly. And I don't know, I cannot tell you what DNA they were used to make this creature. I could just tell you what it looked like. You understand what I'm saying? It had the aspects of a cat face, like a tiger, and it had very large green eyes. And it had whiskers, and the body was very small and very frail, and it had just regular fur.
So do you think this was like a failed prototype idea?
Yes.
Of some kind?
Absolutely. I think it was a total failed prototype, yeah.
What do you think this tiger being could have been used for if it had, I know it's speculation. But.
Well, speculation for me, total military type, operative type, super soldier type programs used to maybe some future war or something to release all these crazy hybrid killing machines instead of using humans, of course, first. Right. And then, send in the humans or send in, of course, that is probably in the future. I'm sure it's going to be mostly clones and drones. The war will be fought, inside a computer room.
You said something about that the clone might have memories loaded into its mind? Yeah,
they can program the brain using very, very small sensors and, how can you say this, wiring.
Implants.
Yeah, implants.
Yeah, okay.
That stimulate certain parts of the brain, and they can also download it and make you believe, that you are Marilyn Monroe, or you are David Wilcock, or you are whoever, and this is actually what has happened to you in the past 25 years, and you just wake up in the bed one day going to work.
What is the reason for why these cloned beings seem to have a shorter lifespan?
I think anytime you take any type of cell, like we have problems with stem cells right now, when you take them and you multiply them, there's a couple of them that come out not too well. So I think it has something to do with that maybe it's not supposed to be done, and that there's a unhealthier clone every time you clone someone when you do it that way.
Were you aware of any other being like the tiger-human hybrid that was a hybrid program that you were directly briefed on or allowed to see a specimen of?
No, other than that, there was one that was kind of like a manatee-type version.
Really?
Yeah, a manatee-type, walrus-type, seal-type phenotype there that they were utilizing that had a very weird look to it. Also was disproportionate and was dead upon seeing it. And I believe that was part of of a project where they were mixing mammalian with, human DNA. I don't know what they were going to do with it, but it looked like an upright, like a manatee, but upright with arms and hands.
Well, just to follow on that for a second, are you familiar with there being any bases that our government or the cabal might have that would be under the ocean?
Yes.
And how would that work based on what you know? How would you build a base at the bottom of the ocean, let's say?
Well, there's bases that were already there that they took over that have been here for millions of years that were already functional. And most of the bases, so are not just like bubbles on the bottom of an ocean. They're actually under the ocean's crust.
Right.
So that's how they really bore in there. And they build it from underneath up. They don't go down from the surface of the ocean with a bunch of 2x4s and steel parts. It's a very complex, a very advanced way to make an underground sea lab.
Some skeptics might say that we barely even have the ability to get any submarine that far down. The pressure would crush any type of technology. So how have they overcome those limitations of the pressure?
Oh, no, they don't use submarines that use, our own alien reproduction vehicles. We form our own gravitational force, so we're inside our own gravity field. So we cannot get crushed. I mean, we form, that's why you can go to space, and that's why you see some of these UFOs and these other ones just go right into the water that you keep going, because they're in their own environment and their own gravity. So it'd be easy for that to, for them to transport people or equipment or whatnot.
And there's enough pressure that they can generate enough gravity that they can easily counteract the pressure of the ocean?
Oh, absolutely. Plus they can transdimensionally change the size of themselves.
How would that work?
Well, they kind of like dematerialize, but you're still there, but you're just out of this frequency just a hair, so you're not really you don't fall under the laws of the science of this planet. And that is for every other planet. That's why they can go anywhere. They can go right through the Earth. You can fly right in the craft. I'm going towards the tree because that's where I want to go. And as soon as I see the tree, the craft changes interdimensionally. So the structure of it will just go through it or around it. And that's exactly how they do it.
Do you think that these manatee people could possibly have been bred to be able to do work in the ocean?
No, I think that was just a scientific experiment gone bad. I think they were trying to they were probably looking at other more intelligent mammals, but they were starting with different ones. I don't know why they picked that. I couldn't even tell you. I've been saying what it looked like. I don't know if it was manatee DNA. I'm just hypothesizing because of the way it looked.
It does seem interesting to me, Emery, that in the early maritime era, there were sightings of people claiming that they saw human aquatic hybrids of some kind. And that almost universally is written off as if the sailors were just drinking. Yet you've seen line art illustrations of people who drew these things from the craft, and you see, for example, a being that has a human face, but it almost has flippers coming out for arms and kind of flippers coming out for legs, almost like it's a scaly type of thing as well.
There was a race of extraterrestrials that lived in the ocean and have maybe even migrated into inner Earth oceans now. We refer to them as the Aqua Fabiens.
Really?
And they come from another water planet, and they actually are at many different water planets. I'm not sure too much more than that.
What exactly does it look like? Could you be a little more specific?
Yeah, it looks like you said. It's a human form, and it's a very beautiful face with long hair. They're men and women of these types of beings, and they can walk. They're not like the mermaids you see with these fins, but they do have fins on the outside of the body, kind of like a cuttlefish. You know what a cuttlefish is? Yeah. They have these fins that are on the outside of the body that allow them to propel themselves very, very fast. And they're very strong, and they're very tall.
If you enjoyed this, make sure to watch the next video on Awaken Zone. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, but you won't want to miss what's coming next.